Hello and welcome to the Arsenal BiteSize Podcast. I'm your host Clayton at ClaytonAFC on Twitter. I'm back from Munich. I'm steined out and I'm ready for a little detox. I'm just on the waters now. No beers for a while for me. I definitely overdid it in Munich. Had a great time. And football was always the football tends to be the worst part of these sort of trips, right? But I had a great time in Munich with some good friends. Met a lot of new people as well, which was cool. And yeah, it's a shame. Like, I think I've had my time to process it now. It's obviously been a few days, and I'm chill. I'm fine. I was upset when we got knocked out, obviously, but in the grand scheme of where we're headed, I think it's a minor bump in the road, to be honest. And I think context is everything with these things. Like, if you said quarterfinals, Champions League a few years ago, we'd be like, yep, absolutely. We'll take it. And I think for me, it's so crystal clear where we're headed as well, which is why I'm even more calm about things. I think from the outside, people like to put us in these boxes where it's like, you have to win by this year, you have to do this by this year. And it's like, we've been in different phases of rebuilding, right? The first few years was kind of restabilizing the club, getting us back to being a reputable top 6 team, let's say. It's about establishing ourselves as a top 4 team, which we went and did like overnight, and kind of surpassed that step, to be honest, and went straight to being title challengers. And I think that's why, as a result, the expectations are disproportionate to the actual objectives that we've probably got internally. Like, Arteta and Edu have said time and time again that we're on track. They speak about this 5-phase plan. And I don't even think we're anywhere near where they expect us in terms of hitting our peak. I think we've still got levels to go to. We're still light in attack, which we haven't even got round to adding the firepower that we need, because in the context of what we are where we should be in terms of their planning. So I think it's important to just ignore what people from the outside say. Like, it's so important that you look internally at what they have got planned and set as objectives, and just measure it internally. Now, on the actual game, let's go through and look at the lineup now. And I was buzzing to see Tomiyasu was in the team. So it was Raya, White, Saliba, Gabriel, Tomiyasu, Jorginho, Rice, Odegaard, Saka, Havertz, Martinelli. And I think that is pretty much one of the best sides we could have put out, to be honest. I've got no complaints about the lineup, and I thought we did really, really well as well. I thought we showed a great level of maturity in the performance. I thought we just looked like we belonged there. We created a couple of half chances, but I was more impressed with our ability to get on the ball, play at them. Like, yeah, I felt like we were more than holding our own there. And over the 2 ties, I feel like it was just a game of fine margins. It was obviously in the first leg, if White puts us 2-0 up, 2 of their goals came from our mistakes. And then I did feel, though, in this game that their goal was coming. I feel like there was a period after this time where we just didn't seem to be fully in control. We seemed a little bit rocky. Goretzka had hit was it the bar or the post with that header? But the fact that he kind of ran into the box freely was a little bit of a concern. What else happened? Then I think straight after that, Guerrero, obviously from the rebound, he hit the post as well, right? So I think there were a few warning signs, but it's one of them. It's a learning curve, and I think everything that this project and this Arsenal team and the manager has shown me is that every setback they face, they learn from it and they grow and they do better. And the fact that we went into this tournament for the first time in 7 years, and we were like the 4th favourites going into it, that says a lot about how the outside world looks at this Arsenal team. You saw they played 2 bloody left backs to double up on Saka and Odegaard. You saw Tuchel's comments, how complimentary he was. He literally said we're an elite team as well. Like, we don't need to worry. I think, of course, it's okay to be upset. And I'd argue like it'll be fucking weird if you're not upset, but I don't think it needs to be doom and gloom at all. We're still light in the squad in terms of being able to compete on multiple fronts. I think we've built a squad that is capable of sustaining a title challenge domestically, but I still think there's a level where we can go up there once we add a couple of key components, which I'm sure we'll talk about another time. But in terms of the Champions League, I think this is where you can see the difference in the competition and the quality. Like, we're a very good structured team, but I don't think we have that kind of individual brilliance and that that attacking player that can just grab the game by the scruff of the neck. Like, I've heard on a few different podcasts this week people mentioning like, fuck him as a guy, but as a football player, a Van Persie and Alexis Sanchez. Like, I think that's the next level for Arsenal to add in attack. And I think we'll get there. But just a bit on the actual stadium, unbelievable. Oh my god, it's a fucking ball ache to get to though, like completely out in the middle of nowhere. You come out of the train station and you've got a long walk, basically like round it's not a back alley, but it's a complete back path, and you kind of got the Allianz in the background as you're walking around, and it's pretty cool. You just see it getting closer and closer, and then when you get there, it is literally like an awe moment. It is such a cool stadium. And then even getting in there, the view I had was unbelievable. Like, we all obviously were up a tier in the away end and stuff, but it was unbelievable experience, to be fair. And the atmosphere was great. I thought our away fans were decent. I've seen a lot of comments on Twitter saying how good it was, and it came across on the telly. But yeah, it wasn't meant to be. But I do think, if I'm being completely honest, it looked like we weren't ready to progress to that next level. I think it's all well and good being structured and controlling and minimizing how suspect you can be to variance, but we didn't create enough momentum to generate our own positive variance is my it's not a concern, but my observation. So very clear things for us to improve on next season in the Champions League. But I think this is the thing, we're not just there as like a one-off thing. We didn't go there and get our pants pulled down at all. I think we have the ability to be a consistent quarter finalist for the next few years. So again, it's just like, broaden your mind, think longer term. I don't know where this instant need for instant success comes from in modern football, but again, just think longer term. Like, people are saying Arteta has to win, and then next year and a half, 2 years, otherwise he's a failure. Open that out. Say, okay, if he's here for another 10 years, then what can we achieve? And I know where I'm at on that. If Arteta is here for 10 years and the project goes as it does, with Edu leading it, the Cronkies backing him, Arteta continuously learning from his mistakes as well, I think we're absolutely set. So I think this is why I'm calm, though. I think a lot longer term than I think most football fans do. So yeah, I think the future is very bright, and they did us proud, in my opinion. I know it was disappointing that once we went 1-0 down, we didn't look like they were going to actually do anything, but I don't think it was for a lack of trying. I think it was just a level that was one too high for us. And on Bayern Munich, by the way, the disrespect before the game's on them as well. And even now, like, people saying, oh, we've lost to the worst Bayern Munich team ever, this and that. Statistically, they are one of the best in Europe when you look at all of the metrics. I just think this Leverkusen team has gone on to do something absolutely absurd. But even one of my mates that I was with in Munich, he was saying Bayern Munich are on track for a points total, which is, in most other seasons, wins the league. It's just Leverkusen have gone and done something extremely out of the ordinary. So I do think Bayern Munich were being very downplayed going into this. And yeah, I think we more than held our own. It was just that final half hour of the tie kind of got away from us, but I'm proud of them. I think they did really well overall in the campaign. Showed some real ugly side to them against Porto to come through and go through on that in a penalty shootout, which I think most of us probably weren't too confident in once it got there, seeing what Arsenal teams have done in the past. And this is the thing, right? Like, I always try not to compare different eras of teams because it's completely different, but we don't have a good Champions League record. And on Arteta's first attempt, he got us to the Champions League quarter-final. Let's see what he does in 6-7 attempts like Pep has had. Pep at City has had 6-7 attempts, I think, to get to the Champions League final. He's got there twice and he's won it once. And That's with arguably like the biggest resources you could ever have available to you. So we'll see. I'm calm about it. Yeah, on to the next one. But we need to get behind them when we go to Wolves, which we'll be doing tomorrow, Saturday, 7:30 kickoff. I think the atmosphere will be vibrant there. I think there'll be like Saturday evening always encourages a few drinks for some fans and stuff. So I think the atmosphere will be quite lively there. But predicted lineups, obviously on the screen, I've got the lineup that played against Bayern. Have to be mindful. We've obviously got Chelsea on Tuesday as well. Before then, a few days rest before Tottenham away. So, be interesting to see what he does tomorrow. I'm reverse engineering it from the Chelsea game where I think Jorginho will play, and Havertz will play up top in that game. I don't think Tomiyasu will start again tomorrow against Wolves, just because I thought he went down at one point, right? And one thing that was really interesting was when he went down, Kivior was actually the sub that was warming up. It wasn't Zinchenko. So, yeah, I don't know if there's something there, if that was around the game state, the specific opponent, or if that's a pecking order thing. But I don't see Tomiyasu starting this. I don't see Jorginho starting this against Wolves. So, yeah, there's different spots up for grabs there. So I think Raya, Saliba, Gabriel, I think will all play. I think Rice and Odegaard will play. I think Saka will play. So then it's what do you do elsewhere? There, I think White will play just because I don't think Tomiyasu will. So I think it'll be White, Saliba, Gabriel. Then it's what does he do at left back and the impact that has in midfield. I can see him returning back to the team that went and beat West Ham 6-0, beat Burnley 5-0. I may have that the wrong way around in terms of what those scores were, but I can see him doing that, because that was a team that was working really fluidly and working well. And I just think, especially if he's playing Jorginho and Havertz on Tuesday against Chelsea, that then doesn't make me think he's going to do Jorginho in midfield. And when Jorginho doesn't play in midfield, you tend to need either a party in there, now he's fit, or a Zinchenko in there. Or, as I've said before, Kivior plays as the kind of the left back that turns into a left centre back, and White inverts from right back. And that's what I'm going with. I actually think he's going to do that. I don't think he will go with Zinchenko in this game. I think Zinchenko is probably going to fall behind in the pecking order now. And I think he is going to go Kivior. Or is he going to do that against Chelsea? It's so hard. It's really difficult. Like, will Tomiyasu play against Chelsea? I don't know. No, I've changed my mind. Okay, I'm going for it. I think he's going to bring Zinchenko into the team against Wolves and look to get control there, build him back up a bit. And I think Kivior will play against Chelsea. I think we're going to go Raya in goal, White, Saliba, Gabriel, Zinchenko, Rice, Odegaard, and Havertz, with Saka, Trossard, Martinelli. That's what I think he's going to go with. I think Trossard false 9, Havertz left 8, have them interchanging, try and get some fluidity back in the left half space. And and then as a result, we'll see what we go for against Chelsea. But that's the lineup I'm going for. Wolves. So Wolves, obviously, their last game was they drew 2-2 against Forest, but they've got some problems now. So the team that played against Forest and drew 2-2 was Sarr in goal. Back 5 was Semedo, Bueno, Kilman, Gomez, and Doherty. Midfield 3 was Lamina, Doyle, and Gomez. And up top, they had Cunha and Sarabia. But they've done their presser already, and they said Neto's doing well and on the grass. If everything goes well, we should play before the end of the season, so we don't need to worry about that for this game. Ryan Aït-Nouri, he could be available for the bench, so he's still not ready to start. Semedo's out, Cunha's out, and Hwang's back, but he only has 45 minutes tops. Bellegarde's also out, and Dawson has had an operation. So I'm just reading. I'm in a different Slack channel with different fans, and the Wolves fans are not. They're not optimistic now, having seen that. So I think that's great for us. I think that's brilliant news where we've now got the ability to flex our squad. Team news-wise from us, it's just Timber that's not available according to Arteta. So big use of the squad available now. And I think, like I said, that's the starting 11 I've gone with, but I don't really care about the starting 11s, to be honest. I think just utilize the squad throughout the 90 minutes and change the state of the game accordingly, depending on what's happening. I think we've got such a variety of profiles. It's just a case of using them now. So we've seen Wolves are potentially a little bit depleted. So we just need to go there and do our thing now with the resources we've got. If we win, we go top of the league. Obviously, Man City are playing in the FA Cup this weekend. Liverpool are away at Fulham on the Sunday. So we've got the chance to go top of the league. That in itself should be enough motivation for them. Score predictions wise, before this news about Wolves, I was thinking it would be very tight. I don't know why I'm saying before this news, because I still think it will be quite tight. I think we'll have more than enough quality to dispatch them and play our game and create enough high quality chances and nullify them. But yeah, I can see fatigue setting in a little bit. I can see the atmosphere being quite good, but I think we'll have enough. The only thing that's changed for me is previously I was probably going to predict 2-1 to the Arsenal. I'm now going 2-0 away win. I think we'll have enough to do it, and I just hope it's comfortable and we can rotate and flex the squad. But yeah, that's a nice, rapid, quick fire Bayern review and Wolves preview, guys. Just shout out to a couple of the guys who joined. Sorry, mate, I didn't see these until now. FPL fellas in, hello, sexy. Virtual hug. Yeah, you too, mate. Obviously, I didn't see the West Ham Leverkusen game because I was flying back from Munich last night. But sounds like West Ham gave Leverkusen a real good go in the first half, but then fell just short in the second half. And Pontus Johansson's also in, coming in to say hello. We'll listen when I get off work. Nice one. Thanks, mate. Hope you have a good day. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. It's Champions League's done, but the Premier League is not. It's all to play for. We could potentially go in next week 4 points clear, with City needing to go to Brighton. And you never know, like Chelsea could have a part to play this weekend as well. So just focus on our own thing. I think just get to Tuesday where we can beat Chelsea and go 4 points clear. That's it. That is all we can do. Just control what we can control. Do what's in our control. That's all you can do. So on to Molineux, beat them, and on to the next one. That's it for now. Cheers, everyone. Up the Arsenal.